All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I know we have people from all over the place, including one of our speakers today, Kirsten, who is in Germany. So it is definitely evening for her right now. But we're happy to have everyone with us from all over the country. I do want to recognize our events chair, Della Booth, who is with her committee, is responsible for all of these wonderful programs that we're putting on for you. My name is Carla Raymond Kidd. I am the president-elect this year. So happy to be with you all coming from Sarasota, Florida. That's my home for the last 26 years. And we have some really special guests that I've known for a long time, Della as well. We have two people with us that are new members. The first one is Kirsten Paul from Paul International. And then we have Brian Bernal, who is from Currencies Direct. So it's always great when we can bring in the membership and highlight them. And it gives us all a better sense of community and able to work together and as a FIOPSI family, because that's what we're all about. So a little, cheers and welcome to them. We're so excited that you're with us today. But I want to start rolling with the program. So I'm going to introduce Kirsten first, just so you know how the program is going to roll though. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. We're going to unmute everybody towards the end and do a proper Q&A and if we have time for even, a little bit of networking. But they both are going to have some PowerPoints for you today. If there is a burning question, I might just interrupt them and have them answer it on spot. So like I said, please use the chat. It is available to you. We want this to be as impactful as possible. So as I said, Kirsten's with us today in Germany, and I'm just going to read her bio. She is a certified banker with a German banking degree and a licensed Florida mortgage professional for almost the past 30 years. And I've known you, I think, since 2005, Kirsten. So since I started my
time,
we've been friends. It's been a long, long time. So she brings her experience from both a US standpoint and European as well. She is the founder of Paul International Consulting, which is a unique consulting firm with offices in Germany and the United States, specializing in assisting and consulting foreign nationals through all aspects of financing real estate in the US. Her customers come mainly from Europe, South America, Asia, and Canada. And she has built her company from the ground up. For more than 25 years, Paul International Consultants has been among the market leaders in the international US real estate financing business. In 2017, she launched Glorious, which is the global mortgage information marketplace. And I think you're probably going to talk a little bit about that today, Kirsten, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to let you roll into your presentation. Feel free to share a screen. Again, please feel free to use the chat, everybody else that's online with us today. And again, thanks for being here with us.
Thank you very much, Carla. That was a very nice introduction. Thank you, everybody, for sharing the time and coming here and spending your, I wanted to say afternoon, which it is. It's evening over here in Frankfurt, Germany. Thanks for your interest. Hold on, let me see here. Okay. Okay. Do you see this all right?
Yes, that's much better. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. It's very exciting to be here and share here. Just a short introduction. I've lived in Florida myself, and that's why I call it my true second primary home for many years, actually since the beginning of the 1990s, when I was when I fell in love with Florida, and early 90s when I really moved over, started the business and dedicated basically most of my time life for this international business. So what we have been doing is consulting and financing international clients in the United States. Back in the 90s, we started with German-speaking clients, and everybody who is in Florida on the southwest coast of Florida knows that this was back then the majority of international business starting there early in Florida, and then we expanded, and now we offer our services throughout the entire United States to all nationalities. But as Carla stated, it's basically coming down to Florida, not only because we have our office there for the longest time, but because the international influx over there is so high. But also California is very, very high percentage with us, Texas, New York, Arizona, and other states. For us, we work independently from banks and everybody else involved in this transaction. We consider ourselves basically working in the interest of the client, like their CPA, their attorney, etc. And we do this in 8 different languages. You see them here. And our documentation, we have it in even more languages available. So we make it easier and give the clients a huge level of comfort when they enter into this transaction. They might speak English, but the terminology is always different. So that's why we offer our website, our documents, and I think it's 12, 13, 14 languages. The website is in 5, but coming more. We have a large portfolio of US lenders that are specialized in dealing with international clients. We do not finance US residents. So this is a truly, I don't want to say niche, it's a huge market, you know it, 54 billion, I think it was in the last year. Real estate has been purchased in the entire United States for 54 billion from international clients. So this is more than a niche, it's a huge, tremendous market. Our portfolio contains, I would say, between in these times, it's fluctuating between 160 and 200 different programs, but I would say about 24 is what we basically quote on a daily basis for the main programs. And I will refer to some of them at the end. What can we finance? Basically everything that comes along your way when dealing with international clients. Purchases, new construction. We are a preferred lender in some areas with the big builders. You see them here. We can do construction permanent loans, rate and term refis, cash out refis, which is a big thing right now. A lot of people, international clients that have purchased and paid cash in the past, do cash out refis right now, extract the equity to reinvest. So that is one of the trends we see. We finally have it back for international clients. We can do home equity lines of credit, which is really nice when offering international clients the option to purchase spontaneously. You know, they have this HELOC on their existing property, and once there comes a deal that you present to them, they can jump on it and close like a cash buyer. So that's a huge and nice tool that has not been offered over the last couple of years to the international community. We are very glad to have this back.
I'm just going to jump in here as a testimonial because I know that we had some clients coming from Europe that did both the cash out refi and then also did, you know, we're looking at the HELOCs as well. And it really turned the corner for someone who didn't think they were going to be able to purchase. And it made that process seamless for them to get into another investment property. So the programs that you offer here, I think, are really impactful for all of us. As I said, I'm, you know, full-time in the business. So me using these programs with my clients and able to offer them things that normal lenders wouldn't do is so great. I mean, condotel, you know, how many people do condotel, right? Yeah. And your foreigners love condotel hotels or condotel product because it's income coming in all the time. It's run by a management company. So the products you offer, I think, are really such a nice, fresh portfolio of things that we can't get here from one of our US lenders. So I just wanted to add that as a testimonial. So thank you for letting me interrupt there.
Thank you so very much, Carla. No, that is very helpful, you know, because there's a lot of information in the internet. There's a very high information level, but not everything that you or our clients find in the internet applies to them. Each scenario is different, you know, so it's very helpful and very important that they get in touch with us and with you now that you know how to deal with international clients as early as possible in the process. Totally agree. Cross collateral is one of the things on the commercial side that we do. Vacant land, case by case, and we started, I would say, 3-4 years ago also with commercials. There's not a specific program, as you know, it's case by case, but also more and more international clients tend also to go and look into commercial deals. So that's what we can offer as well. LTVs, we really can offer up to 80% LTV. That wasn't available for a long time either. Rates went up. So, I mean, if the clients are very rate sensitive, it is helpful for them to go up to 75%, because that makes a huge difference in the interest rate, but 80% is available. What is always important is to inform your clients from the very beginning if they're unexperienced. There are such things as closing costs. A lot of people, you know, just come and say, hey, I saved the 20%, I want to buy now. And then they really only can show 20% down. So it's crucial for your time and for everybody else upfront that they know there's closing costs, there's reserves, there's escrows, etc. And what we do, and Carla and everybody else here who worked with us before knows, we issue fee sheets as early as possible in the process, and we put them or base them on the worst case scenario, because exchange rates are coming in and everything. So we built in some cushions so people know what to expect. They know from the very beginning what is the cash to close, what are the costs, what will be the approximate monthly payments, etc. So transparency is a very big and important thing for us. So send them our way. We have, and I will come to this later, a form for the pre-approval, and with this together we offer the calculations from the very beginning as often as they need it. Loan terms, basically for you, it doesn't sound very extraordinary, that's 30 years, but for example, Europeans to enter into a transaction with 30-year amortization and a 30-year term is very uncommon, especially in a different country. So it's a huge benefit for them if they hear that they can pay it off whenever they want, or if they have a prepayment penalty, it's only for the first 1, 2, or 3 years, maybe. But the 30 years stretches the amortization, so the rates go down. So it's really nice to see what the monthly rates are, that they a lot of times lower than expected.
Kirsten, are you seeing a shift in between conventional and ARMs? Because I'm reading here that we're seeing more people get more comfortable with the ARMs because of the interest rates. Are you seeing that on your end as well?
Honestly, it has been historically always an ARMs history with the foreign nationals. I mean, I would say that almost 30 years that we have been doing this, not even 10% of the deals went into fixed rates. And it's very interesting. And here you see it on the second bullet point, that the average holding time for a house in Florida, I mean, and that differs, I'm sure, from state to state, but in Florida, the average holding time for a house through a foreign national owner is 5 to 7 years. And that is a time period being covered already through the ARMs. Okay, so that's fine. And the nice thing with the ARMs, and don't forget to mention this, the nice thing is with the ARMs, a lot of most of our international clients tend to make prepayments, partial ones. So, you know, it amortizes right away. And if it's an ARM, it will adjust the monthly payments once the rate adjusts, etc. So there's good features that come with it. And the fixed rate is not only higher, it's really more or less uncommon. We offer it, but the people really choose the ARMs. And thanks for the question. So there are interest-only options available, and the special programs like HELOCs, interest-only programs, lot loans, etc. Those are balloons, and it really depends on the scenario to see how long it is. Usually 5 years, etc. There are some mixed programs that amortize after, you know, an interest-only period, but that's really depending case by case. Construction loans, we only offer those in Florida, go up to 70% with full doc, start as early in the process as possible. We can also do it if the house was already started, but it's much easier. You all know it, you're the pros. If it's before they basically broke ground and started working on the land. We usually have construction perms, not only construction loans. So after the CO, it will turn over into a permanent loan and carry over for 30-year amortization. Documentation.
Question on that one. Hey,
Yes.
Kirsten, question on that one. So when you have somebody who's building a house, I mean, we all know what happened over the last 2 years. It's taken much longer for that
Mhm.
house to get basically to be built because of the supply chain. So if we're looking at 18 months, how are we doing? I mean, when are you locking in that interest rate? How is that going to be favorable for the client? Because you don't know when that house is going to be finished at this point.
I mean, it always has, and it had it since the beginning. I mean, since we have been doing this, the loan documents always included that the rates may, and that means will adjust after CO. When there's a rollover, the modification from the construction period to the permanent loan, there's always an adjustment. It has been like this. And I mean, it can be in the favor of the client, but most of the times, yeah, now rates are going up just. Usually there are caps on it. It's usually a 2% cap that is on it. But again, we always prepare the clients and disclose all of this and talk with them because we want to make sure, I mean, they still have to qualify for the adjustments after. So they're safe and they know about that. Yes. But thanks for mentioning this. Very important point. We offer full doc loans. This is what gives you the best rates. And I will give you a reference number in a second. Low doc loans and no doc loans. Sure enough, if you deliver and provide full documentation, gives you the best rates. And just to give you an idea, right now, that would be for the 75 LTV. We still start, although it increased several times, we still start with 4.875% for a national loan. Very good rates, I would say. When I started in the 90s, back then, you got a 1-year ARM for 6.5 to 8.5%. So, I mean, if people complain nowadays that rates went up, we're still very good. It's just that they have been used to the low interest rates worldwide. So this is where we are, still very low. And what means full documentation? It means credit, 3 reference letters to a max, income. They want to see the last 2 years of income and the current year to date. The most lenders don't ask for tax returns. If they ask, we'll tell the clients up front, are you comfortable with showing tax returns or just a CPA letter, and assets. And I would say the assets is the most crucial part because they should take the most time for preparation, put the assets on account, let it rest so it doesn't, there are not too many transactions or question asked, but we even can work without this. So there's always a way to structure the loan and to pick the lender after the documentation that is available. If we have documentation, we provide sample letters from the very beginning in the language the client wants to. So we want to make it easy to enter into it, as I said before. And those sample letters are optional, but it helps a lot of times. Pre-approval. If you go to our website or if you write us, we will provide digitally on the website or by PDF, by email, a short inquiry form. It's really easy. And if this is completed once we get this, and it's also in different languages, we issue a pre-approval within 24 hours or within 1 business day. Let's put it this way, which gives you and your clients a higher level of comfort. Psychologically, it makes a really click for them to have something in their hands that they can buy property in the United States for a certain amount. So it's a very important step, which brings them closer, even if they're sitting now in France or in Brazil or in Japan, to know, hey, I qualify for purchase price A and for loan amount B. In order to do so, have them fill out. They don't have to show anything or prove anything, fill it out. We need income, assets, liabilities, basically. We'll calculate the ratios, issue the pre-approval. So you know that you're looking in the right price range when you show your properties, and they know what they can look and expect and search for. Okay. Current markets and best practices. So this is really, in these crazy times, as we experience them right now, And I go through the bullet points real quick. Timing is essential. You know this, everything, you just mentioned it, Carla. Timing, everything takes longer. So the sooner we get involved, the better, okay? And the more we can rush everybody, because at the end, it's 1 to 3 days missing, you know, if they have to go to the embassy, if they, whatever, the closing might be. So everybody has a relaxed way of closing this and exits out of the transaction with a good feeling. That's what we're looking for. Sourcing and seasoning of funds. The fewer accounts, the better. We can work with 60 bank statements, but I mean, everybody prefers one. So the easier, the better. Collect funds on a specific account. It doesn't have to be in the US, but just tell your clients to really limit it on a specific account. If you have your clients visiting the United States right now, use the time and have them open a bank account, please. It doesn't matter which bank, but open it with a US bank account, because Brian and everybody else can confirm it's not getting easier, to put it in a nice way, to open remotely bank accounts. We can still do it, but it's basically banks want the clients to sit in front of them. So that is a huge help if they already have an account. The person making the deposit should be the person on the loan. If it isn't, because not everybody is visiting when you do the showings, there's still ways, you know, we can do addendums to the contract, a switch title or whatever, but the easiest way, whoever does the deposit should be on the loan. Clients want an LLC, please open it as soon as possible. An LLC is opened really quick, but it's the tax ID that we are always waiting for. So you might have experienced that already. Get pre-approved as early as possible, start working on the docs, maybe even before you travel. We help them, we issue a whole list, like a whole checklist, individualized and personalized for each client so they can go through it and know what is needed. If client has a social security, they will put a credit score, will pull a credit report, even if they don't have one, but they will do it. So we should know if there's a social. We can now even finance clients in the name of an LLC, which is owned by a foreign entity. So that hasn't been possible in the past. That is a nice feature. If it's not a Florida entity, and that's for the Florida loan programs, it should be listed in SunBiz, but this is only for the Florida programs. We can offer
SunBiz, for everyone who is with us, is where we register any of our corporations, or it's through the state of Florida. So that's how we verify that you own the LLC, you're the owner of the certain company, whatever it may be.
Okay, yes. And basically, I mentioned at the beginning, cash out refis are right now very, very popular, because your clients, if they are invested already, what they can do, we can do double financing. If they basically qualify, we can put a cash out refi on their existing property to extract the equity and do a purchase financing on the new property that you're getting for them. So basically, they can enter into a transaction without getting any money if it's available in your state, and if the client qualifies. They can enter into a new purchase transaction without getting any equity or funds out of the home country. So that is a nice way. And the earlier we work on the cash out refi, the better. Popular programs, real quick, and that is just a short sample from what we have. Up to 80% LTV. I mentioned some of the features. Gift funds are allowed. We only have to show assets for 30, sometimes 60 days. Interest only options available. So here the kick is really the low down payment. Then we have up to 75% with limits up to 10 million. So that's a very, very great loan size that we can offer, up to $10 million. 75% LTV, even in a corporate title, and the HELOCs that we can offer up to 60 LTV, strictly in private title for this one, no LLCs and no Incs, and only second homes. So for the home equity lines of credit. I'm not going to go into detail on this. Please visit our website. We have much more services that we offer. So that's on the website, again, in several languages. And just to summarize the advantages for financing in the US for your clients when you talk to them. They receive independent advice, so independent from the lenders and any other service providers. They can get financing for much higher LTV than some of them might expect. So they can afford most of the times more than what they expect. Clients buy higher or maybe multiple times if they know that they can finance. We never had such a high percentage of high-end buyers like we have it now, not in 28 years, and never had such a high percentage of multiple buyers as we have them now because they start building their portfolios. And I can tell you, flying all over the world and visiting these countries, that the US, no matter where they're coming from, is a safe haven. I mean, I can say this, Germany is a safe and solid country, but even for the Germans, there's a huge trend to go over. And we hear this every day from our clients. They have so many different motivations to purchase in the United States. So it's a very strong selling aspect to offer them real estate over there. And they can afford more and higher than the most of the times really think. If they finance in the US and get rental income, they can stay within the same currency. They get rental income in US dollars and they pay their loan off in US dollars. So that is a much better alternative than financing in their home country, where they have two different currencies. And we will hear more about this a little bit later from Brian. But so they can stay within one currency, and we'll tell you how to shift over their foreign currencies after my little speech. Closing costs, interest payments, etc., are tax deductible, at least partial, if they rent it out. We have a great network of multilingual CPAs, tax accountants, tax attorneys that can give advice for this. Let us know if you need any recommendations. They have a lower monthly payments that they often expect. And if they have a Social Security one day, or if they have it already and do the mortgage, they can start building up a credit history, which is very important for them if they consider moving to the United States one time. And let me add one more sentence in connection with this. If you have clients that want to move to the United States, have them financed before they move, because once they're still in their home country, they're still considered non-residents. Once they moved into the US, they're US residents, but without a credit score. The time in between those 2 to 3 years is a gray area. So if they really want to purchase, have them do it before they move, okay? So basically, short and crispy, that was it from my side. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Kirsten. We do have a question before we move on to Brian. Are there any nationalities that you do not finance?
I mean, we have to check the banks, they look at the OFAC list. I mean, right now it's going to be basically impossible to finance people from Russia, I would say, and other than that, I mean, we even can do Venezuela and other countries that have been critical here and there, but we will look at every nationality, yes.
Okay, thank you. And the typical amount of reserves required to get a mortgage?
Not everybody requires. If we have reserves, sometimes or usually it's 6 months. There are only a few lenders that ask to freeze it on an account with them. The most are fine if you just show them available funds on any account, that you still have liquid funds after you close, so you can make sure that you have enough funds to make the first payments. Okay.
Two comments I want to make, because I just went through both of these. One, I want to recap where you said 4.5% for a foreign national to purchase something here. And I mean, that's huge. I just had a US client that I was talking to this week that is looking to buy an investment property. And if she puts 20% down, she is looking at close to 7%.
Yeah.
And if she puts 25% down, she can get in the mid sixes. Yeah. So, I mean, the fact that we can get foreign nationals today at 4.5% is amazing. And then the cash out refi, this is another thing. So we had a client who was from the UK. She owns a bunch of investment properties here, and she lives here in the United States. And she wasn't able to qualify for a loan because she had so many properties. So we worked with doing a cash out refi on one of her Florida properties here in order for her to buy another investment property. And it was seamless. It worked out wonderful. So just wanted to basically bring that up because it's real life experiences that make this all come to light for all of us. And are you able to finance a U.S. residence purchase abroad? She is not, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, maybe in a couple of years, but at
Yeah.
this point,
And I asked her that earlier, so I'm
Yeah.
sure, once we start thinking about this, Kirsten's mind will be going, it's like, okay, I got to work on another program. So, because I know I've known you a long time, I know how you tick. So anyway, with that and knowing someone for a long time, you and Brian have known each other for what, 8 years or so, I think you
at
two
least,
said?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's a pleasure.
All right, so Brian, Mr. Brunel, Director of Business Development for Currency Direct, numerous years of experience in foreign exchange and payments industry. He helps set the standards in the foreign exchange industry by delivering the best and most comprehensive services to clients. His passion for financial markets and helping clients achieve their objectives has helped Brian establish close relationships with his clients and partners. His knowledge of financial markets, banking, investments, securities, and global marketplaces are extensive, and his hand-on experiences super exceed the textbook written norms. Brian, thank you so much for being here today. And again, welcome to FIOPSI. We're so happy to have you as a member.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. And I know myself, Currencies Direct, and my colleague Christian Asal are very excited to be part of the FIOPSI family. So thank you so much for the warm welcome and opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll run through a few slides, nothing too long. And also, Carla, any questions, feel free to interrupt, ask, or anything that you feel appropriate to add at any particular time. Please feel free to do so.
Thanks, Brian. It's nice to have a lender and a currency provider as part of the team within FIOPSI, so we can all use you. We're always looking for people that can tweak things and do things a little differently, and this just makes us become better experts working with you all.
Cool. So what I'll go over, we'll do just a brief introduction to Currencies Direct. We'll get that kind of plug out of the way. I'd like to talk a bit about just give an overall foreign exchange update, kind of where we are at the moment. I feel it's always good to do these from time to time, just to kind of assess where we are and some of the activity that's going on. We'll also throw in a forecast in there of what we feel may be happening over the next quarter, 2 quarters, et cetera. Positioning your real estate business with FX, we'll go over that briefly as well. I think that's if not one of the most important things,
definitely. And FX being foreign exchange, right? Just for somebody who doesn't know the lingo.
Yes. Kind of positioning it with foreign exchange and what that might look like. I'll go over the bank's hidden costs with foreign exchange and transfers, kind of how they're making money and kind of expose what they're up to there. And then a few bits about foreign exchange tools for property. And then we'll finish with our affiliate program that's designed specifically for real estate professionals and the FIOPSI community. So a bit about Currencies Direct. We are on 4 different continents, 20 plus global offices. We've been around since 1996. We've been, you could say we're in the fintech sector, fintech vertical, and we've been in that space before it was actually really fashionable. It's really caught steam the past, I don't know, 5-6 years or so, where fintech is kind of all the rave. But we've been in financial technology, into the global payments and currency exchange sphere for quite some time. One of the main highlights that we really pride ourselves on is our Trustpilot rating. We have an excellent Trustpilot rating. It's 5 stars, and that's over 50,000 unique reviews. So the sample size is very adequate. And customers really enjoy our service and working with us for their foreign exchange and global payment needs. We've got just over, that number on the screen says 500 plus. I believe we're at 600 plus currency experts on our team that are positioned all around the globe to help customers facilitate funds. So our international presence, we have offices in these locations. And the reason we have them set in specific locations is we like to have a follow the sun model. So customers are never left with operating hours. If they're open for business, if their time zone is open, we're open. With our systems, we're able to share them across all of our offices globally. So if a customer, were to call at a particular time, having some questions, et cetera, we have a team ready to service them, as well as with our payments. We have a follow the sun model, which adds to some of the speed of which we do things. So going kind of into where we are at the moment in terms of currency, this is a chart I like to look at quite a bit, and I think it's the only chart I have on this presentation, but this is the DXY. And what is the DXY? So this is a chart measuring the US dollar against the major currency pairs. So within here, you have the Canadian dollar, the euro, the Great British pound, the Australian dollar, a lot of the major currency pairs. So it's measuring the dollar against all of the others. And what you can see is that we are at some very lofty levels since the beginning of 2021, where the US dollar has been on an absolute rampage. I feel that if one can look at what the dollar is doing, they can almost get everything else right in terms of what's going on globally, what's going on internationally. And you can apply that to real estate as well and kind of see where you might want to position yourself with the US dollar being as strong as it is. It's at some historic levels. But in terms of forecasting, we are looking for roughly around Q1 of 2023 for the dollar to begin to weaken. So we still have some time of a strengthening US dollar against its peers, its other currencies. So I show this because I understand that we have clients and customers, or you guys have clients and customers that are from all over the place. They have different currency. But they're all kind of sharing one similar thing, and that is a strong dollar. And I can further illustrate that on this next kind of some of the currency pairs here that I just pulled up earlier, right before the presentation. So, for example, the euro today was ticking at 0.98739. You've probably seen some of the headlines of that being, a 20-year low in the euro. We're dealing with levels in the euro that probably the majority of people involved in real estate have never seen before, with about a 20-year low. This morning, pound sterling dipped to 113.26, and that's a level not seen since 1985. So again, probably predates a lot of people that are in real estate going, wow, the pound's at 113.26. Just really something that they haven't seen before. So it doesn't really matter at this stage what currency I were to put up there other than the US dollar. You'll see that it's at some very low levels, probably not seen in quite some time. One of the highlights that might mean something to you is in terms of the drawdown or the amount that foreign currencies have fallen, the Canadian dollar has actually stayed the most buoyant. It hasn't fallen to some of the levels on a percentage basis as the euro or the pound or some of the other currencies. And one of the main reasons for that with the Canadian dollar is that it likes to be referred to as a commodity type currency. It really mimics the price of oil quite often, and that's been at some elevated levels lately. So the Canadian dollar, I guess you could say, is suffering the least from all of the other currency pairs. Now, keep in mind, the reason I have a lot of emphasis on the US dollar is because if you're a real estate agent in the US, whether you know it or not, or realize that your property is denominated in US dollars, what you are selling is denominated in US dollars, or what a client wants to buy is denominated in US dollars. So if you can really pinpoint what the dollar is doing, you can see it's just a quick way to see, where other currencies might be. So kind of the playbook with a strong US dollar. These are the trends that we're seeing, and I'm very pleased that Kirsten had such a wonderful presentation prior. And that's foreign national buyers utilizing mortgages to buy property. And it's not necessarily that they need to borrow money. They have a lot of cash reserves. They're just not willing to part with some of these cash reserves that they have in the foreign currency at this particular time because of the exchange rate. So what customers will do, we've seen a lot of this, they'll go ahead and send the 20, 25, 30%, what have you, that it might be in their foreign currency to satisfy the down payment and borrow the rest in US dollars, completely mitigating the foreign exchange need. When in the future, because all of these things are very cyclical, when the dollar starts to weaken, they might pay off some of that loan. They might pay it off altogether. So that's a very big trend. So in terms of a strong dollar playbook, if you want to have one or incorporate one, having a foreign national lender that is amazing, that can get these things done for you, is definitely one to have on your side when the dollar is as strong as it is. The second main thing, the playbook, I would be steadily looking for foreign national sellers in the US. That's been a major theme for us. I actually put together illustrations for them quite often. If an agent is looking to get a listing, or they want to do some type of marketing piece and want to show what that might look like in terms of an illustration to the client with the gain that they've made in foreign currency, some of the numbers are staggering: 3, 4, 5, 6, 700%. When you're looking at the gains in the property and once repatriated back to the home country, it's quite astonishing. Nothing I've ever really seen before, but it has been. It's definitely a trend and something for the strong US dollar playbook.
It's funny you mentioned that, Brian, because I just literally wrote that down to bring up, because when a lot of people look at currency and they see, wow, the British pound is really low or the euro is really low, they think, oh, no one's going to be buying anything. But this is such a huge opportunity to have a conversation with our sellers, because their properties have gone up so much. So they might have purchased their property back in 2006, 2010. So they paid really low and their properties have probably doubled in value. But now with the US dollar compounded on top of that being so strong, wow, they're making a ton of money. So it doesn't matter what their currency looks like right now in their home country. Their property here in the US and converting it back, oh, wow, that is a huge wealth builder for them.
Yep, and I speak to them all the time and I congratulate them. And then I ask them what their next venture is, on what they're going to do, because they're better than I am at investing, apparently. But yeah, the returns that they're seeing are tremendous. So that's definitely something to be on the lookout for. If you've sold to people in the past, it might be worth revisiting it. That's definitely something for a strong dollar payment playbook, looking for the foreign national sellers in the US. And then the third is Americans buying abroad. That's been a theme for probably, it's not a new theme, but it has really picked up steam. We've had a lot of inquiries, with customers wanting to buy euros or any type of foreign currency. Once it really hit parity, that was really big news. And mostly what we're seeing is the Eurozone. Obviously, Central America has always been a nice hub for that. I don't have a good gauge on that, as their dollar to dollar transfers mostly. A lot of the property, not all of them, but are settled in US dollars. So that wouldn't necessarily cross my desk. But the Eurozone, all throughout Portugal, France, Spain, we've been doing a lot of Italy as well. Absolutely. Greece. Funnily enough, I don't know why, but probably 70% of all the transfers that we do over there, the primary residence of the American is California. It's just kind of the way that that we see. It's either California, New York, or Florida, and then some in the Midwest. But there's an overwhelming amount in California. At least that's where they're originating from and buying overseas. But these are the things that I would definitely look out for with the dollar at this particular level. And I'll reiterate there, and it's not just us or it's not just us, it's everyone. No one has really seen the dollar at these levels and the foreign currencies where they are at the moment. So if you can kind of position yourself with this, you'll definitely have a leg up of everyone else out there. So why clients like using Currencies Direct? To simply put it, we offer services that clients want that banks aren't offering. We'll offer the best exchange rates to customers and clients. Getting cheap money transfers is something that a customer can find if they want to. I'm able to, in our organization, recognizes this, and we're able to beat any type of foreign exchange that a customer might be seeing out there. So I put best exchange rates, allowing their money to go further. Currencies Direct, we offer more options to customers that they're looking for in terms of flexibility and products that traditional banks really don't offer. And I'll go over briefly just a couple of what those things are. We do have foreign exchange wallets. Customers enjoy that, where they can hold multiple currencies within one account. So if they would like to hold a pound balance as well as a euro balance or a US dollar balance, they can hold up to roughly 40 different currencies within one account, which is something that they really enjoy. The execution and precision that we have, customers really enjoy that. And then speed. And then the transfer solutions as well is something that they enjoy. I think it's embedded into the name Direct with Currencies Direct, meaning that we are able to cut out a lot of the middle people when it comes to traditional foreign exchange, meaning that there aren't any intermediaries with us. We'll receive funds directly from the client and send funds directly where they need to go without any stops along the way. So speed is something that we really pride ourselves on. And our staff with international banking expertise, clients want that. They want to know what is the best way to send funds for a property closing, why I shouldn't send funds via ACH, why a title company wants a wire transfer for closing. What type of system do you use in the Eurozone to send out Euro payments? Do you use the SEPA system? They want international banking expertise, and we provide that to them. So in terms of banks, the hidden costs, well, just for this illustration, I'll go ahead and show you this. Let's just say, for example, that the interbank rate, this is a European customer who wants to buy US dollars. I know the rate is not at 1.0094 at the moment, it's at 0.98 and change. But let's just kind of see what would kind of spit out what a customer would get, what we would be offering a client. And this is just for $100,000 that they need to achieve. Through their bank, a customer would be offered roughly a rate of around 0.97654, which has a markup or margin of 3.2%, and it would cost them 102,402 euros and 80 cents to achieve 100,000 US. With Currencies Direct, we'd be right at 1.0016. So to achieve the same $100,000, it would cost the client 99,840 euros and 59 cents, saving the customer 2,800 euros. And that's on a $100,000 transfer that they would need to achieve. Now, I know the property prices are not 100,000 US dollars. So you can kind of extrapolate
Not
that.
anymore.
Yeah. So you can kind of extrapolate that and see it's not uncommon for us to save a client 10, 15, 20,000 euros, pounds, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, whatever it may be for the transactions. Customers often tell us, I've done transfers with my bank. I always knew they were making money somehow. I wasn't really sure. And all I know is that the math never added up. That's something common that we hear. And it really comes into the margin or the markup that a bank is taking on the foreign exchange component.
Yeah, I find when I talk to clients, they're so comfortable with the bank they've done business with for like 30, 40 years, right? And it's so difficult to get them to just pick up that phone, and you have to give them examples like you just showed us here to see how much money they can actually save. Because when you're looking at $1 million, that 2,800 is now $28,000. And that's a big chunk of change. They could buy a car for that. They could buy furniture for the bedroom, for the living room. So that makes a big, big difference. But they're adverse to, moving into a different direction, right? We're just creatures of nature that we don't like change. So, but they're happy once they do.
Yeah, they certainly are. And we do a lot of educational pieces with them. We'll ask them which bank they're using, and typically we can see what rates their bank's offering. We'll do a full comparison for them and let them decide and choose if they want to utilize the service or not. But the savings is one thing, it's great. And it's one kind of leg up that Currencies Direct has on foreign exchange. But these are three other areas right here. These are the main tools that are kind of used for real estate that Currencies Direct offers that banks don't offer. So a spot contract is what we just spoke about. That's here on the left, just on an immediate conversion of rates. We do have a service that's known as a limit order, where if the customer would like to achieve a particular rate that's not available on the market, we can set an order for them. So let's just say, the customer wants a rate of, let's say we're speaking of pounds and they're buying dollars, and the rate's at 114.30 at the moment. And they say, you know what, Brian, I really like 116. Can you just go ahead and convert that for me at 116 as opposed to 114.30? Perfect. What we can do is put an order out there in the market, and at any time, 24/7, if that gets achieved, usually it happens when you're asleep, the limit order will go ahead and trigger that foreign exchange conversion for them and achieve their rate. Sometimes we call that a budget rate, what a customer may have budgeted for. You can break it down into what the actual FX rate is that they would need. And then a forward contract, we're able to lock into rates for clients. This is useful for buyers or sellers. Let's just say it's a new construction property. They've got a tranche of payments due in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days. They really like where the rate is right now. They don't want to take any foreign exchange risks. We can lock into that rate of exchange for them for a longer period of time. And then our affiliate program, I'll go through that very quick. With Currencies Direct, we do have a revenue share program that's designed for the real estate industry. We do compensate or pay referral fees, RESPA approved referral fees for introductions. And I can speak to anyone further about that if you wish. We do have an affiliate partner portal that is unique with Currencies Direct. You can view your clients you've introduced. You can see different marketing material, anything you'd like. It's a portal specifically for a realtor. We can provide transfer confirmations and updates for any international customers. On-time property settlement with full amount. This is a big one. Usually when funds are sent from a bank to a title company or something like that, it's usually short, $15, $20, $100, and the title agent screams and goes, we need more money, or sometimes they'll let it slide. We pride ourselves on having, it's called full value in the industry. We pride ourselves on having the full amount of where funds need to go for settling property. Eliminating delays, which spoke about how it's direct, Currencies Direct. Misdirected transfers and fraud. We've got a fantastic compliance team. We're about 70 strong in compliance that's constantly monitoring any kind of fraud related activity from our clients or email hacks, things of that nature. So it's another layer of protection for your customers, making sure that they know where they're sending their funds and whatnot. And any support that anyone would need before contract, through closing and after. I'm going to put something in the chat box. It is, if anyone wants to get any more information from us, it is a link that you can look at. You can register to receive information from us as an affiliate, and we'll be able to speak with you further on that. But thank you guys so much, and the FIOPSI Grand Prix 2022. We're looking forward to that.
And we appreciate you being part of that for us. That's fantastic. And thank you both. Working with currency exchange companies, we've been doing it since 2005, and I cannot tell you how many times they have saved the transaction. It's just been amazing. So we really, really appreciate you both being here. Any remaining questions? Anything you want to ask? I'm happy to unmute if you'd like to be unmuted, or if you want to put it in the chat. It's totally up to you. I think we've covered a lot today, but really excited that you're both with us. And as I said, we're able to use somebody in-house, as we like to put it. So again, everybody, you have their contact information. Please, because they are FIOPSI members, reach out to them. Brian, you want people to reach directly out to you? You want them to go through Chris? How would you prefer?
You can reach directly out to myself. Chris and I work together on everything. Chris is
Excellent.
actually the pinpoint person for FIOPSI, and I was assisting him today with the presentation. And but however, we're all on the same team, and however you guys see fit.
Wonderful. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again. It's been great having you all with us. Can we get presentations from the speakers emailed? We will certainly ask them if they're comfortable with that, and then Allison will send those out to those who are registered, Kelly, if that works for you. All right, everyone, have the great rest of your day, evening to Kirsten in Germany. Stay safe, stay well, and we look forward to seeing you all soon. Thanks again.
Thank you all. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
afternoon.
Bye.